Mastering emotional control is a sign of wisdom and maturity. Anger only has power over you if you allow it. Many people go through life reacting to every provocation, every insult, and every inconvenience as if they have no choice in the matter. But the truth is, anger is not something that happens to you. It is something you allow yourself to experience. It is a reaction that you can choose to feed or starve. When you realize that you have the power to decide how you respond to situations, you begin to reclaim control over your emotions and ultimately your life. Anger is a natural emotion, but just because something is natural does not mean it should control you. When a child is hungry, they cry. When they are tired, they throw a tantrum. They react impulsively to every discomfort because they have not yet developed the maturity to regulate their emotions. But as you grow and gain wisdom, you learn to manage your emotions rather than being ruled by them. This is the difference between an emotionally reactive person and an emotionally intelligent person. A reactive person allows circumstances to dictate their feelings. An intelligent person dictates their feelings regardless of circumstances. Emotional control is one of the most powerful skills you can develop because it determines the quality of your relationships, your success, and your overall well-being. A person who cannot control their emotions is easily manipulated. They are like a puppet with their strings being pulled by external forces. If someone knows that pressing a certain button will cause you to explode in anger, they can use that to control you. But when you develop self-mastery, you become unshakable. You no longer react impulsively to people's words or actions. Instead, you choose how you respond with wisdom and composure. There is a difference between feeling anger and being controlled by anger. Feeling anger is normal. It is a signal that something has violated your boundaries or values. But being controlled by anger means that instead of processing it in a healthy way, you allow it to dictate your actions and decisions. Anger in itself is not the problem. It is what you do with it that determines whether it will serve you or destroy you. Some people allow their anger to push them to make reckless decisions, ruin relationships, and act in ways they later regret. But wise individuals understand that anger is like fire. If controlled, it can be useful, but if left unchecked, it can burn everything in its path. When you realize that no one can make you angry without your permission, you gain an incredible sense of freedom. Imagine walking through life completely unbothered by other people's negativity. Imagine being so grounded in your own sense of self that no insult, no rejection, and no disappointment can shake your peace. This is what true mastery looks like. It is not about suppressing your emotions or pretending you don't feel anything. It is about acknowledging them, understanding them, and then choosing not to let them control you. One of the most powerful ways to master emotional control is through self-awareness. You must take the time to understand what triggers you and why. Is it because of past wounds? Is it because of deep-seated insecurities? Often, anger is not just about the situation at hand. It is about unresolved pain that has been stored inside for years. When you take the time to examine your emotions, you begin to see patterns. You begin to realize that certain things upset you because they remind you of past experiences or fears. And once you understand the root of your anger, you can begin to heal and release it. Another key to mastering anger is learning to pause before reacting. In the heat of the moment, it is easy to say or do something you will regret. But if you train yourself to take a deep breath, step back, and assess the situation before responding, you will find that most things are not worth your energy. Many conflicts in life could be avoided if people simply learn to pause before reacting. When you respond instead of react, you take back control of the situation. You show that you are in charge of your emotions rather than being controlled by them. Wisdom also teaches that not everything requires a response. Many people waste their energy engaging in pointless arguments, trying to prove themselves to people who will never understand them. But wise individuals know that silence is often more powerful than words. When you refuse to be drawn into negativity, you maintain your dignity and peace. You do not have to attend every battle you are invited to. Sometimes, the most powerful response is no response at all. Forgiveness is another powerful tool in mastering emotional control. Many people hold on to anger because they believe it punishes the person who wronged them, but in reality, anger and resentment only harm the person who carries them. Holding on to anger is like carrying a heavy weight on your back. It drains your energy, clouds your mind, and steals your joy. But when you forgive, you release yourself from that burden. Forgiveness is not about excusing bad behavior. It is about choosing your own peace over your desire for revenge. Another important step in emotional mastery is letting go of the need to control everything. Many people become angry because things do not go the way they expect. They want people to behave a certain way. They want situations to unfold according to their plans. And when reality does not match their expectations, they become frustrated. But true wisdom understands that you cannot control everything, only your response. When you accept that some things are beyond your control, you stop wasting energy resisting what is and start focusing on what you can change. A person who has mastered their emotions does not live in constant turmoil. They do not allow the opinions of others to dictate their happiness. They do not waste time arguing over meaningless things. They understand that life is too short to be spent in anger. They choose peace over conflict, wisdom over impulsiveness, and self-control over emotional outbursts. They walk through life with a sense of calm and clarity because they have learned that nothing and no one has the power to disturb their peace unless they allow it. The journey to emotional mastery is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming emotionally intelligent. It is about recognizing when an emotion is helpful and when it is destructive. It is about knowing when to express yourself and when to remain silent. It is about having the strength to walk away from negativity rather than engaging in unnecessary battles. People who have mastered their emotions are often the most successful in life. They are the ones who remain focused despite distractions. They are the ones who can handle difficult conversations with grace. They are the ones who build strong relationships because they do not let petty disagreements destroy meaningful connections. They are the ones who rise above drama and operate from a place of wisdom rather than impulse. Mastering emotional control is not something that happens overnight. It requires practice, self-discipline, and a commitment to personal growth. But the rewards are worth it. Imagine a life where no insult can shake you, no disappointment can break you, and no negativity can pull you down. Imagine the freedom of knowing that you are in complete control of your own mind and emotions. This is the power of self-mastery. So the next time you feel anger rising within you, pause, take a deep breath. Ask yourself if this momentary frustration is worth your peace. Remind yourself that no one has power over you unless you give it to them. Choose wisdom over reaction. Choose self-control over outbursts. Choose peace over conflict. Because at the end of the day, anger only has power over you if you allow it. And when you master your emotions, you master your life. True peace comes from understanding that external situations cannot dictate your internal state unless you give them permission. Many people go through life reacting to every inconvenience, every insult, and every disappointment as if they have no control over their emotions. They allow the words of others, the behavior of strangers, and the unpredictability of life to determine their mood, their confidence, and their sense of worth. But true peace is not found in the absence of problems. It is found in the ability to remain unshaken despite them. Think about the ocean. On the surface, there may be waves crashing, storms raging, and winds howling. But if you go deep enough beneath the surface, there is stillness. That is what inner peace looks like. Life will always have chaos on the surface. People will come and go, conflicts will arise, circumstances will change, but when your peace is anchored deep within you, it does not matter what happens externally. You remain calm, steady, and in control. Too many people live in a constant state of emotional turbulence because they have given their power away. They allow an unkind comment to ruin their day. They let a rejection shake their confidence. They react to negativity with more negativity, and in doing so, they hand over control of their emotions to people who should have no influence over them. But the truth is, no one can disturb your peace unless you allow it. No situation, no insult, no setback has the power to dictate your internal state unless you give it permission. The secret to unshakable peace is self-awareness. When you know who you are, when you understand your worth, and when you recognize that your emotions are within your control, you stop being easily provoked. You realize that you do not have to react to everything that happens around you. Some battles are not worth fighting. Some opinions do not deserve your attention. Some conflicts are simply distractions meant to pull you away from your purpose. And when you master the ability to let go instead of engaging, you reclaim your power. A truly peaceful person is not someone who never experiences difficulties. It is someone who has trained themselves to respond rather than react. There is a difference between reaction and response. Reaction is impulsive, emotional, and often regrettable. Response is intentional, wise, and rooted in self-control. When you react, you give power to the situation. When you respond, you remain in control. Imagine how different your life would be if you could pause before reacting, if you could step back, assess the situation, and choose your response rather than being led by emotions. One of the greatest signs of inner peace is the ability to remain calm in situations that used to trigger you. The things that used to upset you no longer affect you in the same way because you have grown. You have realized that your time, energy, and emotional well-being are too valuable to waste on negativity. Instead of engaging in arguments, you choose silence. Instead of seeking revenge, you choose peace. Instead of allowing external chaos to dictate your emotions, you choose to remain centered. Many people think that peace comes from having a perfect life, no problems, no conflicts, no difficulties. But real peace is tested in the presence of challenges, not in their absence. It is easy to be calm when everything is going well, but can you remain calm when things are not going according to plan? Can you hold on to your joy even when facing rejection? Can you maintain your confidence even when others doubt you? That is what true peace looks like. It is unshakable, immovable, and deeply rooted. Another key to maintaining peace is learning to protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every conversation is worth having. Not every argument requires your participation. There are people who thrive on chaos, who look for ways to provoke reactions, who feed off drama. If you are not careful, you will find yourself drained and emotionally exhausted from engaging in battles that do not even belong to you. But when you become selective with your energy, when you learn to walk away from situations that disturb your peace, you gain an incredible sense of freedom. Peace is not something you find, it is something you create. It is a choice you make every single day. You create peace by setting boundaries, by choosing your battles wisely, and by refusing to be emotionally manipulated by others. You create peace by focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. You create peace by choosing self-discipline over emotional outbursts, wisdom over impulsiveness, and inner strength over external validation. There will always be people who test your patience. There will always be situations that try to pull you out of character. But every time you choose not to be affected, every time you remain calm instead of reacting, every time you prioritize your inner peace over temporary frustration, you become stronger. You develop emotional resilience. You become a person who is not easily moved by negativity. And that is where true power lies, not in controlling others, but in controlling yourself. True peace also requires you to release the past. Many people are unable to find peace because they are still holding on to old wounds, past mistakes, and unresolved anger. But you cannot change what has already happened. You can only choose how you move forward. The more you dwell on things you cannot change, the more you rob yourself of present joy. Forgiveness is not about excusing bad behavior. It is about freeing yourself from the burden of resentment. It is about choosing your own peace over the need for revenge. When you let go of the past, you create space for new blessings to enter your life. Another key to inner peace is gratitude. It is impossible to be truly peaceful while focusing on everything that is wrong. But when you shift your focus to what is good, when you start appreciating what you have instead of worrying about what you lack, you cultivate an internal state of contentment. Gratitude changes your perspective. It reminds you that no matter what challenges you face, there is always something to be thankful for. And a thankful heart is a peaceful heart. The people who have mastered peace are often the most successful in life, not just in terms of wealth, but in terms of happiness, fulfillment, and relationships. They do not allow themselves to be thrown off course by negativity. They do not waste their energy on pointless arguments. They do not allow setbacks to steal their joy. They move through life with confidence, focus, and an unwavering sense of purpose, because they have learned that true peace is an inside job. Imagine waking up every day knowing that no matter what happens, you will not be shaken. Imagine walking through life unbothered by negativity, unmoved by insults, unaffected by distractions. Imagine the freedom of knowing that your emotions are fully within your control. This is not an impossible dream. It is a skill that can be developed through practice, self-discipline, and intentionality. So the next time you feel your peace being threatened, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself if this situation is worth your energy. Remind yourself that no one has power over your emotions unless you give it to them. Choose peace over anger. Choose wisdom over reaction. Choose to remain centered, no matter what happens around you. Because true peace does not come from external circumstances, it comes from within. By shifting your mindset, setting boundaries, and trusting in divine order, you can remain unshaken no matter what others do or say. The world is filled with distractions, conflicts, and situations designed to provoke emotional reactions. Many people spend their lives feeling like victims of circumstance, constantly swayed by the opinions, actions, and negativity of others. But true power lies in your ability to remain centered, to refuse to let external events dictate your internal state. Your mindset is the foundation of everything. How you see yourself, how you interpret the actions of others, and how you respond to challenges all stem from the way you think. If you believe that you are at the mercy of other people's opinions or behaviors, you will always feel powerless. But when you shift your mindset and recognize that your peace is within your control, you begin to move differently. You stop reacting to everything that happens around you. You stop allowing negativity to penetrate your spirit. You start living with intention rather than allowing life to push you in different directions. People who lack control over their own emotions will always try to control others. They will test you, provoke you, and attempt to pull you into their chaos. But when you have trained yourself to rise above negativity, you become untouchable. You do not have to engage in every battle. You do not have to defend yourself against every false accusation. You do not have to waste your energy proving your worth to those who refuse to see it. A powerful person does not chase validation. They walk in quiet confidence, knowing that their value is not determined by others. One of the greatest shifts you can make is understanding that not every action requires a reaction. There is strength in restraint. There is wisdom in silence. Not everyone deserves access to your emotions. Not every situation deserves your energy. When you learn to let go of the need to respond to everything, you gain an incredible sense of peace. You are no longer emotionally exhausted from constant conflict. You are no longer distracted by unnecessary drama. You begin to operate at a higher level where your focus is on growth, purpose, and self-mastery rather than being consumed by the opinions and actions of others. Boundaries are essential for maintaining peace. Without them, people will drain you, use you, and take advantage of your kindness. Some people mistake kindness for weakness, but true kindness requires strength. It means knowing when to say no. It means refusing to be manipulated. It means protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. A lack of boundaries invites disrespect. When you set boundaries, you are teaching people how to treat you, and those who refuse to respect them will remove themselves from your life. There is a misconception that setting boundaries is selfish, but in reality, it is one of the most selfless things you can do. When you prioritize your well-being, you show up as a better version of yourself, not only for you, but for those who truly matter. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are constantly drained by negativity and constantly reacting to toxicity and constantly trying to please everyone, you will have nothing left to give to the things that truly matter. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. They allow you to preserve your energy for the things and people that bring you peace, growth, and fulfillment. Another key to remaining unshaken is trusting in divine order. Life does not always go as planned. People will disappoint you, doors will close, unexpected challenges will arise. But when you understand that everything is happening for a reason, you no longer see obstacles as setbacks, you see them as redirections. You no longer waste time trying to control things that are beyond your control. Instead, you surrender to the process, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Trusting in divine order means releasing the need for revenge. Many people waste years of their lives consumed by anger, bitterness, and resentment because they cannot let go of past hurts. They want justice. They want those who wrong them to suffer. They want to see karma unfold in their favor. But in holding on to this need for revenge, they unknowingly allow the past to control them. Justice does not belong in your hands. It belongs to a higher power. And when you truly trust that what is meant for you will never miss you and what is not meant for you will always pass you by, you are able to let go with grace. You understand that no one can block your blessings. No one can take away what is destined for you. Those who wronged you will face their own consequences, not because you demand it, but because the universe operates in balance. What people put out always comes back to them, whether good or bad. By trusting in divine order, you release the need to control outcomes. You stop stressing over things that are out of your hands. You stop seeking closure from those who will never give it to you. You stop trying to prove yourself to those who refuse to see your value. Instead, you focus on becoming the best version of yourself. You build, you grow, you evolve. And in doing so, you naturally attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances into your life. Remaining unshaken does not mean you will never experience difficulties. It does not mean you will never feel hurt, betrayed, or disappointed. It means that when these things happen, they do not break you. You do not lose yourself in the process. You do not allow external situations to dictate your internal state. You acknowledge your emotions, but you do not let them control you. You respond with wisdom rather than reacting with impulse. When you begin to operate from a place of peace, you will notice a shift in your life. Things that used to bother you no longer have the same effect. People who once triggered you no longer hold power over you. Situations that used to consume your thoughts no longer occupy space in your mind. This is not because the world has changed, it is because you have changed. You have chosen to prioritize your peace over temporary emotions. You have chosen to walk in wisdom rather than being led by impulse. Imagine how different your life would be if you no longer allowed external circumstances to dictate your emotions. Imagine waking up every day with a deep sense of inner calm, knowing that no matter what happens, you will remain centered. Imagine moving through life with confidence, focus, and clarity because you no longer waste energy on things that do not serve you. This level of peace is not something that happens overnight. It requires intentionality, it requires discipline, it requires a commitment to self-mastery. But when you begin to implement these principles, when you shift your mindset, set boundaries, and trust in divine order, you step into a new level of freedom. You become unshakable, unbothered, and unstoppable. You move differently. You operate at a level where negativity, drama, and distractions no longer have access to you. The world will always be chaotic. People will always have opinions. Life will always have challenges. But when you are deeply rooted in who you are, when you trust the process, and when you refuse to let anything steal your peace, you become a force that cannot be moved. You become someone who radiates confidence, wisdom, and strength. Not because life is perfect, but because you have mastered the art of remaining unshaken.